college basketball is currently in maybe the worst situation it's ever been. A few weeks ago, we had the James Najee situation, where it was the first situation where we had seen a guy that had technically gone pro come back and play college basketball. Now, those in hindsight now are starting to speak out and say, he's not even that good. Let's not worry about it. It was never about how good the man was at basketball. It was the fact that the situation is happening. That has now led to an entirely new situation. Now, you can see what the coaches and everybody thought about the James Najee situation by kind of cursing Scott Drew's name when he is one of the most beloved guys in the game right now. Super respected individual, but people hated that decision to be able to bring that man in. And I hate it personally. Now, it led to this situation where Charles Bediako has been ruled eligible. Now, there are a billion different things about this that make it really, really shady, really, really wrong. Everything about it is completely messed up. And it honestly, it's a very, very important offseason, this upcoming offseason for the NCAA, because they're going to have to get some crap together, because it feels like now, for the past however long the NCAA has existed, they've gotten away with not really having a uniform, not really having a strict committee that backs what they say. Now they're getting exposed and getting sued. But if you look over Darian Mensah, that's a thing. Carson Beck, now playing in the national championship, has said, I haven't gone to class in 2 years. Like, all these situations are just extremely, extremely weird. And now, the COVID situation was very, very tough. I mean, Charlie Becker, a lot of those different guys there, I feel for them. That's probably a tough situation. But like Carson Beck saying, I'm not going to class in 2 years, and he's going to play for the national championship. And then you've got all these different situations where people are just, all right, I'll just sue him. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Now we look at Charles Bediako. And this is, now that I had taken about a week off, I hadn't filmed anything since the national championship because I was out of town enjoying a little bit of a trip. I need to talk about this because there was a Tuscaloosa County judge, James Roberts, who is, keep in mind, an Alabama donor. On Wednesday, he granted Charles Bediako a temporary restraining order against the NCAA, making him eligible to play immediately for Alabama. Now, what is the problem with that? Who is Charles Bediako, you might be asking? Well, Charles Bediako played a couple years ago. He played in the 21-22 season, played in 33 games that year, started in 30. And then in 2022-2023, started in 37, played in 37, the whole nine right there. Averaged 7 points and then 6 points. All averaged just below 2 blocks a game. 4 rebounds his freshman year, 6 his second year. Really, really good player for them. And now he is coming back to play for Nate Oats. Now, this one is completely different because Alabama is a 5.5-point favorite. So the temporary restraining order means he's going to play against Tennessee. They're a 5.5-point favorite over the Tennessee Volunteers, who they play tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. It's completely messed up that this kid's able to play. And now next week there's going to be a court hearing. There's going to be this entire situation where he'll probably get ruled ineligible, and it'll probably be this whole thing, and Alabama's going to go rage over it, and they'll probably try to sue, and there's going to be all these different ugly things, and it's going to be weird. So he probably will just be able to play this one game, but who knows? Maybe he gets to finish out this year and play the rest of his college career here. Now, some of these guys, Reggie Bush, for example, got his Heisman taken away and got all these different awards. He got like destroyed by the NCAA because of it, because he was taking a little bit extra cash, living in Los Angeles as I don't know how old he was at the time, 19, 20, 21 maybe. Like, this dude was in need for it. And now Charles Bediako, who has signed 2 Exhibit 10 deals, which means you are officially an NBA contract signed player. Like, that is an NBA contract, which is for the the history of the sport has always been, once you do that, you're done. It's also been, once you go past the deadline and you don't announce that you're returning and you forego your eligibility, you are done. Now these guys are coming back. It's completely messed up. It is completely messed up. And in the NCAA, I mean, they are hands tied right now, and they're going to need Congress, who has a lot more on their hands, to step in. They're going to need a lot of help, and I don't know if it means they need to add like a certain committee. I had seen a tweet about where it said that some of these former guys, Tony Bennett, for example, that just retired recently because of how the game had gotten, Coach K maybe, and just some of these recent guys, Get them together and talk to them. Nick Saban even. I know he's football, but like still. Get them all together and do what is right for the sport. Charles Bediako being back is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't consider Nate Oats the classiest human of all time. I'll say that with full confidence. The way that he handled the entire Brandon Miller the incident a couple of years back, I don't think was very wise in how he handled that. He comes off wrong quite a bit, and I know he's a player's guy. He's a player's first coach. I mean, he's obviously a really good coach. Not taking that against him. But I don't think he's the most respected man in the sport. We'll just put it that way. And now you've got these other guys speaking out on it. And I do think for Nate Oats in this situation, he probably didn't go to Bediako and be like, hey, let's try to like squeeze you into this lineup. They do need a big. Taylor Bobone's been hurt. They've kind of had some weird stuff. Noah Williamson had a good game against Kentucky. They had all these weird different things, but they do kind of need a big. Like, he fills a great role for them. I don't think personally that Nate Oats went and he said, Charles, why don't we just come get you eligible? We saw the James Najee situation. All that happened. Yes, he did start taking classes last semester, and then he ended up being able to get straight into classes right now, speaking on Bediako. But I don't think that started with Nate Oats. I think it was probably his agent saying, like, hey, let's figure this out. But within a week, Charles Bediako will have played for, I think he was with the Motor City Drive. I think that's the Detroit Pistons G League team. He will have played for them and suited up for the Alabama Crimson Tide a week and a half later against the Tennessee Volunteers. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not saying the sport is doomed, but man, like, what are we doing? What in the world are we doing? So now, Todd Golden, a man who has not ever been afraid to speak his mind. He spoke on the Denzel Aberdeen situation. I know very well because I'm a Kentucky fan. He did not skip a beat with that. He said, oh, he just got offered more money, whatever it was, and he just basically said, like, yeah, Denzel just got lured into the portal by Kentucky, and then they just offered him $1 billion and paid him that. And he spoke very clearly. He hated that, was not afraid for that. He also mentioned they were able to finagle it where they got a judge in Alabama that's actually a donor to Alabama to write a temporary restraining order saying, yes, they figured out a way to completely cheat the system. But then he follows that up by saying, we're going to beat them anyways. If he plays, we'll beat them anyways. Credit to you, Todd Golden. Credit to you, man. I absolutely love that. Seeing a dude go out there and just freaking speak his mind and talk that talk. I know it was on a Gators like podcast or something, some live show maybe. But credit to him for speaking the truth and speaking what us college basketball fans that are neutrals want to hear. That was awesome. But for me, it's gone too far. That James Najee was too far. But they're going to have to get like a CBA or something to where they can add some eligibility rules so where all these college athletes are going to have to sign that. And then as soon as you go and forego your eligibility, you have to go. I've always said if you are old enough to make the decision to go, you're old enough to deal with the consequences of it not working out. If you go and you bet on yourself, whether somebody's telling you and feeding you bad information or not, if you go, it's your decision and you are old enough to deal with the situation and figure out a way to make it work to the best of your ability. But this is a Charles Bediako situation that did that. Whether he was fed bad information or not, I don't care. He was old enough to make the decision by himself. He still has to sign and everything. He is still a grown man in this situation. And now he's been bouncing around from the Spurs G League to the Pistons G League and all this different stuff. He's been signing these random deals and stuff, and it's obviously not working out at the NBA level. Doesn't seem like he wants to go overseas. So what's he going to do? He's going to go back to college and get paid in NIL money. Now, he was there in the NIL era. Like, he knows what he was, like, missing out on, leaving. Like, he was going to get a bag. He was still going to be paid pretty well in college. But he took a bet on himself. It's not fair for him to come back. It ruins... Not only did COVID ruin these high schoolers' chance, if this is allowed, high schoolers are doomed. Like, the roster construction is going to be completely different from now until a long time from now if they continue to allow this to happen. The sport needs saved. That's the best way to put it. I'm absolutely sick of it. It's ridiculous. Shame on you, Nate Oats. Shame on you, NCAA. Shame on you, maybe not Bediako. I don't want to blame a kid or anything. But, like, shame on you as agent because he's probably the one pushing this the most. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank you for tuning in. Leave your comments and thoughts below. Peace.